So, hello and welcome to another episode. I'm pretty excited, to be honest. For those that have watched the vlogs before, you'll know where I am. I'm at Fenland Fishery and I'm on Willow Lake. I've not walked around for long. To be honest, I've seen all I need to see. I'll show you this footage now. Take a look at this. Well, I don't know how well you can see this, but just come round to that bush and there's a few fish in here. It's a nice long mirror. There's a common sat right underneath it. Oh, that's great to see, that is. Absolutely. You don't have to get the heart racing. They're certainly liking this area. Stand up slowly. Literally right underneath that snag though. There's no way you could fish for them. But they've got to come in and out. There's actually 3 fish that I can see there at the minute. I've got the polar eyes on. Oh, that's really encouraging. 4 fish I can see. There's 2 smaller commons hanging below and there's 2 mirrors above them. Oh, that is awesome. That is wicked. So yeah, over my shoulder here, that tree that's overhanging from that margin, I've seen them fish in the back of there. Don't get me wrong, they are well and truly in the back of there, but they've got to come in and out, so that's going to be 1 rod. And then I've also been up the tree, again in this no back bay. I didn't see anything while I was up the tree, but I have seen fish showing in there since I've been setting up, so I'm going to put 1 just on the line where the rope's marked across. I'm going to put it as close up to that rope as I can in that channel. 1 on that margin on that overhanging bush where I've seen the fish, and then a spot that I've I know already, fished here before, 15 wraps out, a nice clear clay spot out in open water. I've had a bit of time to speak to a few guys that was leaving this morning. It hasn't done really well over the weekend for the carp. There's only been a couple of carp out. To be honest, the catfish have been bullying the carp out, to be honest. So with that in mind, I don't think I'm going to go in with a heavy baiting approach. But we'll see. I'm going to feel my way in. I'm just going to start off with mesh bags to begin with, and we'll go from there. But I'm itching to get a rod out at the moment, so I'll fill you in a bit more detail as and when I get set up, let you know what I'm doing. As things progress, we'll touch on things a bit more. I'm going to go in with the fluorocarbon rigs, but slight change to last time. It's not fluorocarbon straight through, it's actually a combi rig, but we'll touch on that in more detail. For now, I just want to get going. Wish me luck. Well, we're fishing, all the rods are sorted. I'm feeling rather positive, to be honest. I'm like a coiled spring. I've got the polarised on and I've seen quite a few fish passing through the area. I did have a go at putting a few dog biscuits out to see if they'd take them off the top, but to be honest, the gulls pretty much killed that. If they did start coming up though, I'd have fed the gulls off, but nothing took interest on the surface baits. So you know, I've got the rods out. This one that's fishing towards this back bay here, I'm still seeing fish jump in this back bay. Obviously I can't put a bait right in there, but there's only one way in and there's only one way out. That's the way I look at it anyway. So they've got to pass me at some point on that rod. So with that in mind, all I've done is I've gone in on a solid bag on that. I'm not going to put no free offerings in that area, just hoping that one snaffles at it on its way past. I think if I was to put a bed of bait there, I don't think they really feel comfortable feeding there. I think it's just a passing point on the way to that back bay. So I feel that's the best I can do to get me a bite off that rod. We'll play it by ear and see how it goes. And then that one that's fishing under that bush where I seen the fish earlier in the back of it, I've gone quite close up to that, fishing locked up, and as I mentioned, I'm using the fluorocarbon rigs. The boom section for that is the 20-pound RM Tech fluorocarbon. And the bottom bit is the silk wire from Pva products. That's a really good material. That I was showed it at the show when I was there last, and to be honest, I've fallen in love with that. It's perfect for solid bags and it's a really good supple material. Before that I was using the Fox Reflex. Don't get me wrong, that was still good, but the properties of this PB one is it just takes on the water so well and hugs the bottom. Generally supple braid materials, they're quite light, and you know, if you flutter about in the water it can lift up off the bottom, but this one seems to take on the water and stick a lot better. Size 6 hooks, I've got on the fluorocarbon rigs, I've got the Nash pinpoints on there, and on the solid bag one I've got a Corda wide gape, that's also a size 6. So yeah, that's my plan of attack, my baiting approach. On the margin rod under the bush, I've put in a little bit of bait, just a couple of scoops, and on my open water rod I've gone in with around about 5 spons. I think 6, but 5 are actually on the spot and 1 went adrift, so I'll just write that one off. So I've got 5 spons out there. It's looking really good. I think it's only a matter of time. So yeah, in my mix I've got 2.5 litres of hemp in there. Bay up. Which one? Don't know, get your heart pounding. That's the rod that's fishing to that bush. The one that's fishing locked up. That's happened twice now on that rod. My heart's pounding. I'm like a coiled spring, I tell you. Anyway, back to the bait. Right, so I've got a bag of frozen sweet corn in there. I've got 2.5 litres of hemp, and I've got 2 different boilies in there. I've got the TX1 Tiger, and I've also got the Isolate LM94. Fish meal and a nut bait, you know, great confidence in it. If one fish isn't having a fish meal and it fancy, you know, sometimes they fancy a protein bait or a nut bait, so I like to put 2 in my mix if I can. Yeah, and then I've just finished that off with some food syrup. I've put half a bottle in there. It's a 500ml bottle, so I've got 250ml in there. Most of the boilie that I have put into the mix is crumbed up, but I have got a couple of handfuls of whole boilies in there and a couple of chops as well. Just a few different bits and pieces. I don't want to overfeed the fish because, you know, it's still springtime. We know what it's like in the spring. Sometimes spring can be just as hard in the winter, if not harder sometimes, because they start moving about and you think that they're having it, so you pile the bait in. You know, I've done that in the past. And generally I like to feel my way in on the springtime. I'm not going to rule out zigs. Obviously I've seen a few fish cruising about, but for now I think I'm doing the right thing. I just hope we don't get pestered by the catfish on the open water rod. That's why I only put 5 spons out. So yeah, it's quite a sloppy mix. Oh, another thing that I've put in there, I've put some condensed milk in there, that is the sweet stuff, just to cloud it up a little bit. I'll give you a bit of a close-up on that. So we've got about 5 kilos there. That'll probably see me for this session. And I'm going somewhere else after here as well, so I'll keep you posted on that.
The darkness comes.
Well, we're just about coming up to 8 o'clock in the evening now. It's been fairly quiet, but I'm still feeling really confident. There's fish in the area. They're not really showing. I'm not seeing any signs of feeding yet, but I do know they're in the area. There's a little bush here behind me in this back bay, and take a look at this footage. I lowered the GoPro in. Just take a look at this. Them fish definitely know where they're safe. But it was really encouraging to see that. I was like a big kid standing there watching them. Oh, it's electric, absolutely electric stuff. It feels like summer's here, never mind spring. It's like everything's woke up. You just know it's going to get better and better from now on. And it's a cracking lake, this, it really is. I have been out. I did a 3-night session with my son Corey in the Easter holidays. To be honest, I didn't really take the camera with me. I hadn't really planned on vlogging that session. It was more about spending time with my son. We headed over to my syndicate, the Folly in Peterborough. I did a 24 hours on there. I was meant to go there for 3 days, but I did 24 hours and I really wasn't feeling it. The end of the lake where I was, there was nothing showing down there, and I didn't get any liners at all. I just really wasn't feeling it. So we packed up in the morning and headed over to Bluebell Lakes, and we ended up fishing mallard for 48 hours. And I tell you what, that was such a frustrating session. I had fish showing in front of me. Especially on the night time and morning time, there was fish in front of me and I could not buy a bite. I mean, don't get me wrong, the lake was fishing very poor, especially by mallard standards. For that 2 days that I was there was only 3 or 4 fish come out, which is pretty, abnormal for that lake. You can have some big hits in there. And I tried all sorts. I was fishing zigs at one point, altering the depths, changing the colours. I fished quite long to where the fish was showing. I found a nice hard gravel area. I fished it at 104 yards. But no, a really tough session. But it was a really enjoyable session. I love spending time with any of my boys. They love coming with me, and I buzz off it when they come. The fact that they enjoy it just as much as me, that's what it's all about. It's not always about catching. But anyway, back to this session. It is really looking good. I'll be gobsmacked if I wake up in the morning and nothing's happened. I really will. It looks absolutely pucker out there. Could do with a bit of wind on it. But last time I was here, it did seem to come to life more at night. I mean, going back to then, it was winter, it was cold, and you hadn't seen anything in the day. But the fish are showing themselves now. You mooch about in the margins, you find them. The odd fish is showing here and there. So the lake has definitely woken up. I just hope them catfish don't plague me tonight. I think I'll be alright on that margin rod and the channel rod. to be honest, I kind of expected them to come into their own at this sort of time, just as it's getting dark. And the open water rod, I'm expecting that to go off tonight. But we shall see. We shall see. Sometimes when you're feeling confident and you think you're nailed on for a bite, it doesn't happen. Sometimes carp fishing can be frustrating, and as I said before, especially in the springtime. But it really is good. This is pucker. I've waited ages for this. No matter what you go through at the winter, you spend all that time waiting for the spring to come, and when it does come, you're like a big kid at Christmas. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on, and hopefully you shall see me very soon with a fish. Wish me luck. Well, it's mid-morning now, and last night was pretty quiet, to be honest. I didn't receive a liner on any rod last night, but I was really shocked that that open water rod didn't do a bite. But this morning the channel rod went about 8 o'clock, and that thing led me a right merry dance. I was on the rod as quick as I could, but I must have had it on good 5 minutes, but I could feel grating all the time, grating. And eventually the fish come off. It left the hook stuck in a branch. It basically just slipped the hook and put it in a branch. I managed to get my tackle back, so at least it's not trailing anything. But I'm gutted, absolutely gutted. And then I went to put the rod back out and I bloody fell in as well. So can't write it, it's just going from good to worse. Ah, dear, the joys of carp fishing. Sometimes it drives you bloody bonkers. There's still fish mooching about in the shallows now. I think, to be honest, I think they drift out of there in the night and then they come back in the daytime. And I think it's very dependent on the sun whether or not they get in there in numbers. At the minute it's sort of overcast. The sun does keep poking it through every now and then, but I've just got to persevere. It was the TX1 banana and pineapple that did me the bite, so I've switched all three onto the pineapple and banana, and we'll just have to see how we go. Keep trying my hardest. Hopefully we can winkle one out. I shall keep you updated. This time. Come on. Get in. Get in there. Well, It's taken long enough, but we finally got one. Same rod again, incidentally, it's the one in that channel. Same tactic, takes one banana and pineapple. And this is a beautiful fish, this. Really twitchy take, it sort of like picked it up. Bobbin touched the rod and I was watching the rod tip and then it started to just twitch round. I'm thinking, hey, what was one on? I was spodding out at the time as well. I got in a right kerfuffle. Chucked my rod in the water and all sorts. But it's been well worth it. Wait till you see this beautiful fish. Can't remember if I said the weight. It's just gone £25.7. He's lively. Come on, baby. Oh, and there we go, look, check him out. What a lovely old looking warrior that is. Oh yeah, I'm made up now. Oh, I was in the process of making a little change as well, so I'll touch on that in a bit. I'll show the other side because he is equally as nice on this side. Oh, I love it. Big apple slices. Oh, that's what does it for me. It's just starting to rain as well. I'm gonna have to be quick. He just does not want to behave. Come on, baby. This time. Yeah, there we go. Absolutely pucker. Oh yeah. Mwah, I'll take you all day long. Yes, let's slip him back. What a beautiful fish. There she goes. Oh. Well, I'm a bit knackered now. I haven't been too long since I last spoke to you. To be honest, I pretty much just got everything sorted, everything back set up, and then I sat back, put the kettle on, and the rod ripped off again. The same rod, the channel rod, solid bag, little yellow pop up again, and this one's a bit better. Tell you what, all these mirrors in here are such lovely fish, they really are. Steady. Really beating me up, this fish though. See if I can calm him down, just cover his eyes for a minute. I don't want to even attempt picking it up yet. Just let him calm down and then have a go. So he's just gone £30, 12 ounces. Yay! Over the magical 30 mark. He's giving me a right kicking. Give a good of account of himself though. I'm surprised he's still got all these beams. Because he's only been in the net for about 5 minutes just while I got everything sorted out. And there we go, look. Check him out. Yes, a spring 30. That'll do me. Lovely jubbly. He's quite short to be honest, but he's fat. Oh yeah. I'll show you the other side if he'll behave. Don't stress him out too much. Yeah, just as nice down this side. There you go. Absolutely lovely. And the night is still young, you never know. Oh, pucker. Mwah. Let's slip him back. So this is the rig I've just had that fish on. So I've basically got 1.5 foot of unleaded leader, 3 ounce inline lead, and then here just 4 inches of that silk skin, and that there is a size 7 pinpoint. First time using these hooks. It has dinked it over from the fight. It needs changing, but how simple is that? Little 12mm TX1 banana and pineapple. Lovely jubbly. Well, it's just gone 8 o'clock now. It's been about 20 minutes since I slipped that fish back. And to be honest, since slipping it back, I've had another liner. So if it goes again, you never know. I mean, if last night's anything to go by, it did nothing last night, not even a single liner, so I don't know what's happening. It's like they're just getting their heads down before they leave, sort of thing. As I mentioned earlier, I've changed things slightly. I've moved that rod that's on the right hand side of the screen. That's the one that was fishing towards that bush. I've not had anything on that today. I've been round and had a look. The carp are still getting under that bush, but they're coming in from the opposite side of it, and they're going out from the opposite side of it. And the side which I'm fishing, I've been putting a bit of bait in there, and it's not been touched. So I've just lost confidence in that spot. So this one here, it's only 5 wraps out. I found a little gravel patch, and to be honest, it's quite blatant. All around it's just dead silty, and then that is just donk 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 across it. So it's a really nice spot, and it's this similar sort of area where I seen a couple of fish show last night, so fingers crossed. My right hand rod's still fishing out on that open water spot, and that was really quiet last night, not even a liner on that neither, but I've still persevered with it. I know it's a good spot, it's worked for me before last time I was here. I put another 5 spons of bait over that. What I will do in the morning, I'll pop round to that bush and I'll have a look to see whether the bait's been cleared out. Right, it's just like a little safe haven. They get under it and just sit there. As is this one to my left, in the back of this bay. That's where I took that underwater footage. It's just like a view in all that. But the branches that are in front of it go right down to the bottom, and like in the middle of it, it's like a clean gravel patch. You know, and it's about 3 foot deep there. Every single time I go and have a look there, they're just there. I'll tell you what though, I do love this place. I can see why it's fully booked all the time. When I went to book on for this session, every single weekend was booked up solid till November. So I took a couple of days off work so I could come here. I did want to fish here for 4 days, but I could only get booked on for 2, and that's midweek. The lake's full. And I'm doing alright. I've had 2 and lost 1 now. I'm the only person to have caught a carp. I think matey on the other side had a catfish last night. Don't know how big. I don't really fancy one of them. There's some big uns in here and all. the lads that was on at the weekend had a 70 pounder and an 80 pounder, plus a few small ones, they said. And they was trying to avoid them. They said that they were fishing fruity baits and they were still catching them. Mike as well, he said to me last weekend, there was a £100 catfish come out. Crikey, I bet that took some pulling, that. You definitely need your waders on to land that. I tell you, since losing that fish this morning though, I've been sat in my waders all day. You won't, as soon as you get a bat, you've just got to get straight out as far as you can go and hold that rod out, and then they come in alright. But you live and learn. I did end up jumping in, or slipping in, whatever you want to call it. It was accidental. And then once I was in there, I thought, stuff it, I'm in now, who needs waders? The joys of fishing. It's not the first time I've done it either. In fact, take a look at this. This will make you laugh. Yeah, this is on my syndicate, the Folly. When I showed it to my wife, she says, play it again, play it again, play it again. And they were all laughing at me in stitches, all four boys and the missus, absolutely pissing themselves at me. Trying to look all professional, you know, get in the lake and do a bit of markering up. Yeah, get in the lake alright. Well, it's really atmospheric out here now. It has been slightly overcast most of the day though. We've seen the sun a little bit. I think that's probably why the fish ain't got up here in numbers today. But last night there was a lot showing on the other side of the lake, where them four guys are fishing. They're having a bit of a social on that far bank. I'm still sitting in my waders now. I'm dying to take them off and have a proper sit down. Oh, I don't know if you picked that up in the distance. That's on the other side of the lake. It was this time last night they started to show themselves as well. Well, I hope one of them open water spots does me a bite tonight. I was absolutely gobsmacked. And it didn't do nothing. Another fish just rolled there. I don't know if you can see that. Tell you what, them seagulls are a pain in the arse. I'm sure you'd be able to get something going on the surface if they weren't pestering you all the time. I tried feeding them off earlier. I went through a full bag of dog biscuits. I thought, oh stuff it, I'm just bloody feeding the birds here. There was definitely a lot more cruising about on the surface yesterday though. It was warmer yesterday. But I'm not complaining. If you'd have asked me this morning if I'd have had 2 mirrors, you know, within an hour of, you know, coming into the last night, I wouldn't have believed it. I am chuffed to bits. Well, I'm going to stop waffling on. I'm going to start cooking some tea. And then the plan is to get in the bag early. I didn't sleep very well last night. I kept waking up every couple of hours, thinking, why haven't I had a bite yet? Why has nothing happened? I was just on edge all night, thinking, and then when light did come and nothing had happened, you know what I mean? I was kind of in disbelief. So yes, I shall hopefully see you through the night, but if not, I'll catch up with you in the morning. Well, good morning, and what an eventful night it's been. Kick-started it off, the 2 bites on the middle rod, that's the one that's fishing at 5 wraps. I had a tench around about £6, just took a quick picture in the net, slipped it straight back, put it back out there, and then about 30 minutes later it rattled off a little catfish. I didn't wait or anything, it just looked like a double. Same with that, quick video on my phone, slipped it straight back, and then plopped it back out there. And then the rods remained fairly quiet. I had the odd liner, but then 4 o'clock this morning the open water rod went. Oh yes, I knew that spot would pay off in the end. It's a good spot, that. I don't know why, last time I was here all my bites come off that spot, and it's done me good this time. I've got a common sitting in a retainer now. Twitchy take again. Yeah, all the carps seem to be twitchy takes in here, I don't know why. £26.8 that one's just gone. So without further ado, let's get him out and show him you. So here he is then, beautiful old common this one, gorgeous colours on him. I think he might be lively, he's been a retainer for a bit. Oh, he's behaving himself, and there we go, look, check him out, proper chestnut colour that, or as they like to call them, golden. Yeah, so that one come on the combi rig, takes one banana and pineapple again. Seem to like a yellow bait in here, and this one is no exception. Mwah! Absolutely beautiful. Pucker trip. I've got a couple of hours left before I've got to shoot off to another lake, but I'll catch up with you before I go. For now, let's slip this one back. Lovely jubbly.
Every little moment, every little moment, when you try to hold. Every little moment, when you try to hide, everything was right within is dead.
Well, the session's just about come to an end now, but it's been really enjoyable. I can't grumble with what I've had. It started off bad, but it's finished good in my opinion. So now I'm going to head over onto Willow Lake, but that's going to be a separate video. So that's it for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, let me know. Pop a comment on, maybe a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you like this kind of thing. So until next time, stay tuned.